Hello everybody, so welcome to my second vlog. Today I'd like to touch on the topic of disabled athletes, and one of the most controversial news I stumbled upon was the scandal of a Spanish basketball team who pretended to be mentally handicapped to win the Paralympic gold in Sydney Paralympics in 2000. Fernando, the former head of the Spanish Federation for Mentally Handicapped Sport, fielded athletes with no disabilities to compete in the Paralympics. The scandal broke when one of the members claimed that him and other athletes were not mentally handicapped, and they did not take any medical or intelligence tests. The manager held fake medical certificates, allowing them to compete, and also told them not to create such a huge gap in points when they played against other countries. The spectators were also suspicious after recognizing some of the athletes to not be disabled at all. After the scandal got exposed, Fernando resigned and they were forced to return their medals, and the category of intellectual disabled basketball was removed from the Paralympic program after the 2000 Games. For me, when I stumbled across this news, I found it very interesting as I did not know that there were competitions for the mentally disabled in the Paralympics, which proves that more awareness should be raised regarding Paralympics for the general public. I also feel like this issue is a pertinent one as there are many athletes out there with disabilities, and it is wrong for normal athletes with no disabilities to compete with them with an unfair advantage as there is no level playing field. Before Fernando resigned, he argued that psychological evaluations of mentally deficient athletes were difficult and mistakes had been made. He said that if someone wants to cheat, it is difficult to detect. It's easy to pretend you have little intelligence, but the opposite is difficult. So, this shows that mental illness and impairment is very subjective, and people can easily fake it, which is how the team manager managed to take advantage of this loophole. Sporting organizations should also revise and have a more rigid framework to verify the authenticity of the athlete's mental impairment and pose harsher punishments as deterrent. Removal of the intellectually disabled basketball shows just how one such situation can affect the whole sporting industry. Hopes and dreams of those mentally handicapped to participate in prestigious sports competitions like the Paralympics are shattered by this scandal. Take It Pins You in one of our class readings, for example. If someone were to impersonate and fake to be wheelchair-bound due to impaired movements, and if the scandal were to be exposed, the Paralympics Board Committee might remove the wheelchair segment of sports in the Paralympics, which means that all the effort she puts into the sports will go to waste as she can't compete anymore. Fernando might have some financial motives when scheming this ploy, as him and his team received government subsidies of around $150,000, which is a lot of money. Aside from this scandal, this brings us to the topic of how real disabled athletes require a lot of financial support, as disabled athletes might find it difficult to navigate in a foreign country and might need some special mechanical support to move around. The swimmer Larry Sepp, an American record holder with an intellectual disability, was raising money online to pay for his mother and companion, and the cost was about $10,000, which he said is a financial avarice. On the other hand, costs incurred by healthy athletes are borne by the team's corporate or private sponsors. This shows how important it is for countries and sporting organizations to financially support disabled athletes to make up for the stark difference in support provided to Olympians and Paralympians. There might be many more buried scandals in the Paralympic scene that we might not even know about, as this is one of the few and more notorious news that emerged. This may be attributed to the invisibility of disability that we learned in class readings, how mainstream media marginalize disabled athletes. Portrayal of disabled athletes and lack of coverage reinforces existing understandings that disability sport is neither interesting nor worthy of attention, and this creates a negative stereotype of disabled athletes, which means that many more scandals in the Paralympics might still be buried. What we can do is raise more awareness about the prevalence and pertinence of disabled sports and Paralympics so it can gain more spotlight and attention from the general public. So I've come to the end of my vlog. Thank you.